Okay, you guys, we are back with another video. In this video, we're gonna talk about Bianca Sensori and her husband, Kanye West. Let's talk about it, shall we? Because, guys, I'm gonna have to keep it real with you all. I know a lot of people, they want to see the happily ever after. They want that fairy tale ending for Ye and Bianca. And I must admit, I want that too for them. However, I can't help but consistently question Bianca's motives, and I see a lot more people on the internet questioning her motives. No, we know that most recently Kanye West said that one of the fashion trend he regrets doing is live. And many people are saying, because he gave that response, he needs to be institutionalized, he needs help and all of that jazz. But you see, the truth is, oftentimes when Kanye West speak, is the silent thought of many people. For example, when he said what he said about Jay-Z and Beyonce's kids, we knew that a lot of people were saying that silently. And after he said it, a lot of people were like, yeah, we have been wondering silently, but you should not be dragging kids in public. That's something that you think about, you talk about it in a little circle, but you don't speak about kids like that on the internet, especially with the level of influence that you have. So, we don't like it. We don't like to see it. But if we're going to be truly honest with ourselves, Kanye's thoughts are a lot of people silent thoughts, but it's just that there's a place and time for everything. And many people were not happy with him saying, he regrets doing live. No. Because of that, it has triggered a lot of conversation. And the conversation is that many people are now admitting that when Kanye was with Kim, he had a better image. He was more palpable and palatable, even though there were a few hiccups here and there that we can now look back and say, oh, that was him being unwell all those times. But he was still better with Kim. And I have to agree. And I've been telling you guys this. I've been saying it for the past maybe 2 years. I said I have to be honest. Kanye's image and reputation looked a lot better with Kim Kardashian. And now a lot of people, what they believe is that Bianca doesn't care about Kanye West. Bianca is just gonna allow him to say whatever he wants to because she is not as caring as, the average wife would be. Because the mere fact that, she's always there, seems as though she doesn't oppose anything that he does until it gets severe and start affecting her. Seems as though when Kanye does the little harmful things, like when he speaks about Hitler and those things that triggers the internet, seems as though she sits, she laughs, and she enjoys it. And as such, Kanye will continue doing it. However, in Kanye's defense, we can see that he has been going on a apology spree, but it seems as though there's one person he'll never apologize to, and that's Kim Kardashian. We're gonna have to talk about that in another video, but I'm just saying, the internet, they're questioning Bianca's motives at this point. Many people are saying, oh, Bianca has all of his bank account. She's going to take all of his money and run off with his money. No, the thing is that Kanye loves money. He loves money, but I don't see him as someone who worships money in that sense. Bianca could take all she wants for Kanye care and concern. Kanye knows he can build back an empire, and he's gonna laugh after her because he's gonna look at her as not being so accustomed to money, even though she grew up in a family that had money and lived a pretty good lifestyle. In comparison to a Kanye West, Kanye is going to look at her as not being accustomed to money. And to Kanye, any amount of money she runs off with, it's going to be a couple $1 million. And that's going to be chicken feed to Kanye because Kanye knows that if he goes on good behavior and he finds God, he can make a few billions within a year. How many people do we know can do that? Kanye West only, and maybe like a Elon Musk. You have to have something like that true geniusness. He's telling us that Bianca has it, but Bianca is not Kanye. Kanye is Kanye. So even if she runs off with a few millions, it's gonna be nothing to Kanye West. Like, that money means absolutely nothing to him. And that is something I believe that people should be realizing at this point. So when I see people wants to weaponize Bianca robbing Kanye blind, sometimes we have to be very careful, we have to be careful, because sometimes the things that we wish for others and preach and pray, the outcome that we want to see others suffer, innocently, because we don't know. And that's just the truth. We don't know if these individuals are guilty of any wrongdoings, and if so, what wrongdoings are these people guilty of for us to want to see them we want to see them suffering that much. For Kanye, we can say we don't know what he's done. So why would you pray for him to suffer that much and see it as something celebratory when what Kanye did was to run his mouth? Yes, and him running his mouth has hurt a lot of people. It has triggered a lot of reaction. But my point is, what he did wasn't right. But I mean, are you so empty that you're praying to see this man suffer, broke, and die? Like, be careful, because while you might think that you're manifesting that for Kanye West, you might be just manifesting that for yourself. What if that's the day that God decides that I'm going to open the floodgates of heaven and I'm going to answer your prayer? That's going to be your prayer for the day? Come on. So we have to be, conscious in our thoughts and opinions of others. And I'm learning this as well on my end. And as I learn and as my eyes become more open, you know what I don't do? I'm not selfish. I share the information with you guys, and I leave it up to you guys whether you want to accept it or whatever you want to do with it. So I'm just saying, we need to stop preying on people's downfall, especially when we don't see the crime that this individual has committed. Because the truth of the matter is, there are people out here who commits crime, these dictators and these powerful politicians. We can see the things that they have done, creating wars. That's a crime, causing many people to die recklessly, innocently, fighting their reckless, arrogant war. And I know many of you would not pray for the downfall of Bibi Netanyahu. You will not pray for the downfall of anyone that has committed any form of genocide. But like a Kanye West, yes, let's pick on Kanye. He's weak, so let's pick on him. Go pick on someone else. Call out Kanye West for his bad behavior, but praying for his downfall, honestly, it's not going to get you anywhere, because I don't know what anointing that man has on him, and I'm going to keep saying it. While Kanye West may seem unlucky, if we're being honest, not many people could have gone through what Kanye has been through and is still standing in the way he's still standing, still being able to get love from people, still being able to make money, and occasionally he finds himself back and he finds God. So I'm just saying, just be mindful. But as it relates to biancacensori, I believe that people just wants to see Kanye West at his best, doing his best, and they want to see him on a consistent streak of just being the best version of himself, where he gives us those motivational speeches, and he is just upbeat, positive, happy, and healthy. That is what people want to see. And as such, every time he does something that comes off as extremely unpleasant, people are asking, what the heck is his wife doing? Why was it that Kim was able to keep Kanye West grounded, hide his mental health for so long from the public? Why is Keisha Kayor able to do it for her husband, but Bianca cannot do it for her husband? And guess what? It's not just Gucci Mane. It's not just Kanye West. There are a bunch of other celebrities who have the same mental health disorder, and you don't know. And that is what people are looking at. Why do we have to know? Yes, Kanye is stubborn, but he has his wife there. Is she really playing a role in caring for him and having his best interests at heart? Or is it really just about money and she doesn't care? She's just, scraping with a shovel all that she can scrape with a shovel, and she has the idea of or the plan to just leave this man one day. And she may, you never know. But Bianca is still giving questionable to a lot of people. And I have to say that I understand. And I definitely agree with them, especially as it relates to the nitrous oxide. Like, you and this man, you live in the same home, and you have a dentist delivering canisters upon canisters of nitrous oxide, according to Milo Yiannopoulos, you know. How do you not call the police? How do you not take your time, sneak them outside the house and, dump them or something, just get them out of his presence. Even when he's asleep, he has to go to sleep at some point in time. Do you leave the canisters there? Is he gonna get angry after he wakes up and find out that they're not there? Well, I would be running off with those canisters, dumping them in the middle of nowhere, and I would just go to Australia and hide out for a few days if he gets angry, or I would ensure that I call up some of his friends, my family member, and we're all going to stay in this house, because when you get upset, all of us are just going to sit here, let you run your mouth. But at the end of the day, we know we're doing the best thing for you. It's not up to you to see it. It is up to them to see it, because if he's unwell, he's not going to see that, they're trying to help him, because mental health is selfish. So once he's good again, he will be grateful that they did all of that for him. Just, I would just like to see Bianca taking better care of her husband. And if she's not able to foot the bill, I think that's where divine intervention comes in, the help of others. So I have to agree with the internet. She's consistently questionable. We don't know if she has good intentions or bad intentions, but whatever it is, I pray that Kanye West gets the healing that he truly needs, which is going to take some time. And, I just pray that he's the best version of himself for the sake of himself and his children. But that's all I have to share in this video. For now, let me know what's your 2 cents on the matter, providing you have an opinion. Leave it below. While you're at it, thumbs up, share, subscribe, and we're going to talk some more in the comment section. Peace.